Loves, welcome to InSync. I'm Oyin. Of course, I'm here with my partners in crime,
Victoria.
Esther.
Hey, ladies, you guys look so bomb.
Thank
come
you,
on,
baby.
come on.
Let's see this brand.
That's it. So, ladies, it's just us today, and I'm so excited about this topic. So I feel like it's really important, and a lot of people don't talk about this, and they feel like it's not that important or it's not a big deal. So. Let's say you're getting to know someone and you guys have gone deep and then you found out that, you're either AA and he's AS or vice versa. So one of you have the sickle cell trait in you. Mm-hmm. What do? Do you break up with that person or do you take that risk?
It's going to be tough, especially if you guys have been together for let's say more than 3 years, right? And you guys are planning weddings. You guys have both met each other's families. You guys are talking about the names you're going to name your kids. You guys are talking about location where you're going to buy your new house and all that stuff. And then when you find that out, it's a crucial information. You know what I mean? And it's like you guys would have to break up because you guys can't put your kids at risk, right? Some people are lucky, but you may not be so lucky.
For me, I'm just, if we've been together for years, I don't know. To be honest, it's easier for me to say no, but because I've invested so much, like you were saying, our families are involved. It's just I see myself staying and just trying to just pray that doesn't happen. But that's so tough, and I'm just glad that we are talking about this because. Growing up in Canada, that's something I don't talk about with my friends, but my parents would talk about it with me, in my Nigerian household. Because I'm telling you, in Toronto, people are more about horoscope. I'm not gonna date a Scorpio
or a Sagittarius, something like that.
It's just but this discussion is so important. So,
but I wanna pick something. So you mentioned that you would actually stay and pray. As much as, listen, God is faithful, God is kind, God is loving, but it's a thing where there's certain things that God will even say, use your brain. Basically, in a nutshell, God will say, use your brain. So it's you're basically saying you will stay and take that risk. And potentially, let's say you have 3 kids, one of them would have that sickle cell. And it's looking at your child in the eyes and knowing that you could have potentially avoided that from happening because it's not a joke. Because I have friends that have sickle cell and she's in a hospital literally at least once a week. And she needs a blood donor, she needs all of that stuff. So it's I need to know, what would make you stay? What is it about that relationship that will make you overlook your future kids and that genotype part and
because at the end of the day, that child that's a sickle cell will have no one to blame but you and your partner.
I know. I just feel because I'm already I already invested so much, and I understand I'm putting my child in a big risk, but I can see myself staying, but I definitely think this is something right now I need to think about this and even educate myself more about it because. It's sad because I don't know, for some reason, when people are here, they don't think about it. Just think I'll be fine. I'll just take my chances. Yeah. But that's having this discussion is important because I want to avoid this because I feel I don't want to be in a situation where I'm in love, I'm invested, and say I'm even in my mid 30s, that's even tougher because it's I don't want to start all over again. Yeah. And I know that sounds selfish of me, but that's just the reality of it. Yeah. So.
When do you feel you would ask your partner? At what stage would you ask, hey, what is your genotype? Is it the first date?
It should be the first date.
First date. Yeah, because it's not a crazy question, not asking what's your salary.
But then what if he refuses to answer? What if he says, listen, I don't even know where we're going yet? It's not, because some people find that question very personal. It's what's your own kind of thing? But it's what if he doesn't want to answer and you can potentially see this going somewhere? Would you now stall and wait to okay, I'll ask you maybe in another month or so?
No, but I would be okay, the reason as to why I'm asking is because I potentially see a future with you, and I don't want to risk if I know it might sound too forward, but I have a future, I see a future with you, and I don't want our kids to be potentially at risk. That's why I'm asking. It's not because I'm nosy, it's because I actually want to know what's happening.
Yeah, personally, I don't think I would ask on a first date. I feel do you know what it is? I feel first date, I'm still sussing you out. I'm still seeing if you are even worth my time and me investing my time with you. So for me, it's like first date, it's basically I'm asking you, do you have HIV? Because I know I'm not going to sleep with you. So it's like, for me, I feel like first date is a bit too raw. Like I get it, I get the concept that, okay, but for me, it's like if a guy comes to me on the first date and says, Oyin, what is your genotype? I'm like, I think it's too early to tell you. I feel like the right time before we go into anything, before when I say that, okay, I'm starting to catch feelings, or maybe I'm investing a little bit of time, more time than usual, then I think is the best time. Because it's I will just be thrown aback by that.
Okay, you're saying that, but what if you, God forbid, were to, what if someone that you're seeing were to have HIV, right? And I understand like the whole stigma around HIV, right? Like people automatically they jackpot when like they hear that, right? But like you would want them to let you know. Like you like them to tell like they have HIV and like so you know how to go about it. Would you like rather than wait like a month or 2 months to even tell you?
No, but I feel like those are two different things in a way. Like HIV, it's like that's a disease. Yeah. Genotype, it's like this is my blood, whatever. And I was born with it, right? Some HIV, some people are actually born with it as well. So for me, it's like the genotype part is different to the HIV part. For me, personally for me, because like genotype, like, okay, family, we're building family. Whereas HIV for me, we're building family eventually if it gets there, but it's more on the sexual level. So it's like me saying, do you have, I have HIV. It's like, yes, I'll be thrown aback if a guy tells me that. I'll actually appreciate him for telling me that. But it's more in my mind, I'll be like, but who said we're even gonna have sex? If in case I'm not feeling you. To even jiggle what I mean. So for me, it's like, it's two different things. And speak it, like, what do you feel?
I just feel like, for me, I like to ask a lot of questions on the first date, like, but I just make it seem casual. Like, this is just me trying to get to know you. Yeah. So for him, if he feels like he's offended by any question I ask, for me, I think that's a red flag because I'm a conversationist person, and I guess there's certain questions obviously that are too deep and too offensive, and that's fine. But I like to ask all the serious questions because for me, I don't like to waste time, and I just want to know everything now because I've been in situations where like I wish I asked this in the beginning so I didn't have to find this out. But that's true. Like some people are different. People have the restriction on what they want to ask and answer, and I just think everyone is just different.
So I feel like that asking that question is good for maybe the second or the third date.
At least within the first month.
That first month. But like that first date, instead of me asking you about, your favorite color, what is your genotype? And if it says I'm AS, and because I'm thing, I'm like, okay, on that note, bye. But it's like, if it's like at least the second date or the third date, you're developing that friendship. So even if you're not compatible, it's like, okay, do you know what? We're not compatible, but you're a great friend. And that way you actually remain friends. So it's not awkward, compared to that first, like, you bounce, you literally ditch me because I'm you're going But let's shake things up a little bit. When do you feel like is the right time to ask about sexual history? Like how many girls or guys, been with, and, checking yourself, the whole STDs, and when is the right time?
So like body count?
Literally.
I don't ask body counts about guys. Like,
why?
I don't ask because I just assume I just don't want to know the answer.
You think it's too high?
It's probably high. Like, that's what I just assume. It's just high.
What is the virgin?
What is the V for virgin?
Well, what am I gonna do with with that number? Like, if it's what if I like the guy and his and it's good and he tells me it's 100, but what if I like him? Like,
I mean, you're not gonna judge him based on the body count.
I feel like what I should ask is if I'm in a situation where we're getting sexually active, I'm definitely gonna ask, when was the last time you got tested?
Yeah.
Because sadly, I feel like a lot of people are not getting tested, and it needs to happen. And if a guy is feeling uncomfortable about answering that question, that's bad.
Yeah.
Like that's even a red flag right there.
Yeah.
But I've been more confident in asking that question. I think before I wasn't, but now I'm more confident because it's like I'm asking not because I care about my health. It's about me, like, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't ask body count, but I'll definitely ask, like, when was the last time you got tested and how regular do you get tested?
Yeah, and I feel like I was in a situation one time where, like, I asked the guy, like, obviously my ex, one time, like, when last did he get tested? And, like, he looked at me like I was, like, insulting him, right? And it's just like, no, I just want to know, like, if you're good. So, like, if you're good, then that means, like, I'm good as well, right? Because I get tested as well because I want to know what's going on, right? Because not all infections show symptoms, right? So you can't just say, okay, because, like, I have no stinging when I'm peeing, or because I'm not seeing no blood in my urine, I'm good. No, you actually still need to get tested, right? And, like, obviously knowing, like, your health status. So why wouldn't you want to know that? You shouldn't have to wait until something drastic happens to your health before you know that, okay, I need to go to the doctor, I need to get tested.
But what if, you asked and they said, oh yeah, last week.
That what?
He got tested, and he's capping, the biggest C for cap.
Let me see results then.
So you'd ask, what would you actually say? I think it's better if it's like, babe, why don't we actually go get tested together? Because that's what I actually do. I'm like, listen, let's go to the clinic together. So that way I have confidence in my heart that you actually got tested. And it's like, we will potentially get the results the same day, if not the same week. And it's like, please, let me see. Even if you're going to use protection, it's like still.
Sometimes you lie, which is so sad. They actually lied that the last time they got tested. And it's actually really sad. And I feel like your route is actually really good because it's like
you're doing it with them. It's a team. It's
a
team thing.
It's a deep question, though.
I wanted to ask me.
You know why?
I wanted to ask me, so it's like.
But then guys will always. I hate that question anyway because I feel like you will low-key judge me if I tell you, or if I give you a number. You know what guys say? Oh, multiply that by 2, or by double it, triple it, like, girls. But for me, it's like I don't want to know the exact number. But it's like I only ask if they've asked me. So it's like, okay, you two, what is your body count? And if you're telling me 50 plus, it's like, I'm not going to judge you based on that. I'll ask you, please, I beg, were you a who? Like, when was this? Was it university? Did you go through a whole phase? Because I don't want a situation where I'm actually surprised and I'm dating this guy and different girls in different corners coming to me and saying, oh, this guy was a hoe, or have you heard about this guy? Because for me, it's like, let me, I don't want surprises. I want to know, okay, you've basically had a whole phase. So if I'm hearing things, people coming to me about this person, about messing around, I'm not shocked because you already told me. He was honest with me.
But how big is the circle that you're going to be in for people to feel comfortable
Toronto
to tell you?
is small, sis.
Yeah, people will actually come up to you, be like, yeah, they slept with your man type of thing.
I guess because, I don't know. For me, if I like the guy and we're vibing and we're good, and because me, I'm very picky when it comes to guys and the way he respects me and everything. And if you are sleeping with people that I do not know and girls I do not know about, I personally would not care. So that's why I don't care about body count. Okay, you slept with my man, fine, because at the end of the day, I know he's for me. I guess that's how I see it. Yeah. And I don't want him to ask. And I honestly I just don't see the importance. I feel like for me, it just sounds like the reason you guys want to know is because you don't want to look some type of way. But like, what if you're deep in the relationship and you just don't care? Like, I like the guy.
Like, I get what you're saying, and I kind of agree with Esther because, like, for me, I feel like ignorance is kind of bliss in that situation. Because honestly, if the number is reaching over 50, I may not even want to lay down with you. No, I know, but when you're thinking about all the 50 other girls,
but what is the difference where you don't ask him? And I'm only saying, ask him if he asks you, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like...
That's what, you know what's crazy? If a guy asks me, I don't like it. He's not for me, actually.
To me, every guy asks you.
No, not every
so
guy.
Most guys, okay,
if you
or quote unquote, most guys.
I feel like when a guy asks me what's my body count, it's because your mentality is, I want to know who you fucked. But that's not my mentality. Right off the bat, I feel like we're just not compatible. Like for example, like my ex has never asked me, and I feel like, and we talked about it. One time we talked about it, and I realized, okay, me and him have the same type of mindset where we really don't care. And I feel like those type of things matters to people, and it doesn't matter to me.
The thing is, I feel like no matter how high or low your body count is, it doesn't devalue you as a person. And on top of that, it doesn't, even if your body count's 50, it doesn't make you not wifey material or not husband material. Do you get what I'm saying?
Should even be out.
So with what you just said, I feel like that whole, I guess, body count conversation, relationship in general, you need to know how to have uncomfortable situation.
Conversation.
Conversation, sorry. So I really feel like that conversation, if he brought it up, that is an uncomfortable conversation, right? Yeah, so it's like, that is a test for you to also see how can he handle this uncomfortable conversation, because there'll be way worse uncomfortable conversation. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's why I feel like if a guy was to ask me, I would answer because I'm not ashamed. But then I will also ask you because I want to see your reaction. I want to see what you're going to say to me. Are you going to tell me, oh, multiply that by 7? Because a lot of, like, that's, I guess, a lot of most guys' response. But Esther, you mentioned something about not dating guys with kids. No, I can't. I need to know. I don't understand.
I'm just starting to like kids. Just something about little kids, they just.
But they're not little forever.
Yeah, they're not little forever. I used to not really like kids because like I used to shock me, right? But now, like for some reason, I've been getting baby fever. I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't know. I just love kids, but I want to be my significant other's first person to give a child, and I'm not ready to be a stepmom. Like, I feel like if I have my own child, I would take good care of them and I like them. But just to have another person, I feel like. He's gonna be looking at two people, the kid and me, and I want all the attention on me.
But what if it's a good Jesus is Lord? Wow.
Or I can't come because I have to go see my daughter's.
But you know what though? I respect your honesty, right? What if it's a good guy? This is a very good guy, and then he had this child when he was young. Yeah. You would judge him, and you would actually miss that opportunity to have a beautiful relationship with this man because of a child is not a disease.
But a child is such a big responsibility.
But then that's a test for you to see how he can handle responsibility.
What if he splits the time? What if he splits the? Okay, you said that you want all the attention on you. I get that, but then what if he makes time for you and actually on the child as well?
Why are you not giving attention to your kid?
No, I said makes time for you and also the child as well. Because at the end of the day, realistically,
it won't make you feel like you're
exactly.
Let's break it down. We're also forgetting about the baby moms.
That's another one.
Do you know what?
That's me. I don't even want to be her friend. Like, cause me, I don't even like that you're friends with your ex. Now you're permanently with your baby moms. So now I'm gonna be seeing your ex everywhere.
See,
I just want peace.
Yeah, I can date a guy with a kid as long as depends on how the kid was made. Like, let's say I met a guy and then he has a child. My first question is, what is the relationship like with the mother of your child? So it's like if he says, oh, you're very toxic, this is that, I'm out because I know it's me that will carry the toxicity. But if it's like, oh, it's good, no, she's in another relationship, she's probably engaged, she's like in her own life.
Oh, that's true.
Then it's like she's found her peace, so she's not gonna come and stress mine. That's when I can date a man with kids, and it's like because low key for me. I'm also practicing how to love another human, like, a little human that's going to depend on me when it's time to be with daddy. So it's like...
Don't you want to be his first one to have his...
Do you know, I would love to be...
I'm sure realistically, everybody wants to
Everyone
be the first.
wants it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't devalue the guy.
Exactly.
If the guy has a child and is a good guy and there's no baby mama drama, and it's like this child probably like 5 years old, 6 years old... It's not gonna devalue who this guy is. It's like, for me, it's like, you know what? Now I want to see what you're like as a father, because potentially, if we have kids together, you're gonna be my baby daddy and husband. So it's like, I want to see, are you a deadbeat Or how do you handle responsibility?
This episode was sponsored by Yaro Suya, your premium destination for suya that tastes like home. They offer local deliveries around the GTA. Check them out and tell them InSync sent you.
Do you know what it is for me? It's like, it's so easy to check for STDs and whatever else. But when it comes to genotype and you're calling your family doctor, they're like, what is this? Like, it drives me insane. It blows my mind. And I feel like abroad, it's nothing. Like, what do you guys feel?
So when I wanted to know mine, because I wanted to get a blood test to make sure everything was good, and I also wanted to do genotype. But my family doctor literally was like, "Oh no," she said no to me. She was like, "Oh, we only do those if you need a blood infusion or you have any health problems." Wow. And I'm just like, but what if I just need to know, like, because I'm dating, I want to find out, like, just if I'm good and if I'm going to get into like a relationship, like I'm planning to have kids. And she was just like, no, because it's a very expensive test to pay. With this free healthcare, I was confused.
Expensive how?
It was, you know what I mean?
Like what?
Trust me. So you know what I did? I called again and I actually spoke to a different doctor and I lied. I said, I'm planning on having children, so I want to know my genotype. He's like, okay, sent the paperwork.
So you had to lie in order to know what your genotype was.
Trust me.
But you know what, I think, like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm guilty of this. I don't even know my genotype, right? And it's just because, like, it's never really come up into conversation. And I feel like we don't really talk about it as much. When it comes to STDs, okay, sure. You know what I mean? But when it comes to genotype, it's like not really people even know what it is, number one. They don't even know what theirs is, number two. And like you said, it's not even easily accessible. The fact that like she had to lie, like why do you have to go to that extent to know what like what type you are? You know what I mean? So it's like, and the fact that they're saying it's expensive to do a test.
See, I was lucky because my family doctor is Nigerian. So he already knows genotype. And it's like, even our parents, for example, like before I found mine out, I asked my mom, I was like, what are my genotypes? I think you're A or A.
I think.
I was the same way. She was like, I think, and I'm like, okay, I need to go find out for sure because I can't go off what
I think you're this, I think you're that, yeah.
It's so important because there's this movie on Netflix, it's called Strain. That was when I knew this topic needs to be very important. If you haven't seen Strain, please go and watch it on Netflix. It's basically about this whole genotype stuff. And it's literally this family, you know, they thought they had checked themselves, but I guess the husband checked it a long time ago and maybe it was a lie or whatever it is. The woman is AA and they found that is AS, but they found out when the son was sick. And he had to go through the whole bone marrow transplant. And this was a strain on the family because they have another child. So it's like they're focusing on this, you know, the one that has the that's SS. But then the other daughter felt so left out. Like she was missing out on so much. It was a strain on finances, on mental health. She's like, if you haven't seen that movie, please, I'm begging you.
Watch it now.
Go and watch
it. I haven't seen it, guys.
Because that's when I knew it is important. Because some guys can lie to you and tell you, oh, they're AA. A lot of people feel like, oh yeah, we're AA, but it's like, did you actually check?
It's the basic one,
right? Or it's like, did your mom tell you you're AA? Because for me, if your mother told you, please go and check. You probably have siblings and they're mixing and matching everything.
No, but I think honestly, it's really important that you just get it checked sooner the better, because you just save yourself and your future kids like the stress, you know what I mean? And like you just save a lot more lives if you think about it, because being a sickle cell is not a joke, right? And it's just like having to get blood transfusions and like it's actually very hurtful. So it's just like you just save yourself. Like, life is already stressful. Why are you not going to put yourself in more stress?
Even that, you're going to ask a child that didn't even ask to be born in the first place. Through pain, the whole bone marrow transplant, looking for blood up and down. When all it took was put love to the side and put your future first. Because your future are your kids. It's like, imagine you're engaged and you found out that your fiance was an AS or SS. would you call off that wedding?
When did you find out?
Let's say the week of the wedding.
Oh my god.
Because that happens too.
That's on you guys.
Like,
That's on you guys because it's just like why
people wait until last minute because they really believe that okay, maybe we're good.
What?
Like this society can shock you.
Nah, bro, that's on you guys because it's just like a week before. Like this is vital information that you shouldn't be playing with. You know, that's like your fiance telling you a week before. Oh, by the way, I have HIV. Just the one let you know. Like how you supposed to deal with that information? Yeah. Like I get.
But like God forbid though, Esther, if that was you, like what would you do? Would you call off that engagement, knowing that you have a week to your wedding? You've blown 50 Canadian dollars. Would you call it off or would you say, June?
I'm gonna call it off. I'm sorry. Like,
I'm shocked. So what you said at the beginning?
I feel like,
don't cap now.
I feel like because I got married, we're in it. It's been years. We're trying to have kids, whatever. But now that I have an opportunity to like, there's that window for me to like maybe this is a sign from God. Like, hey, no, like I think I will have to end it, like, because now that I have that window right there, because it's like I can't continue the wedding. I think I'll even be stressed throughout the whole wedding. I think I'll be thinking about it.
Yeah. So basically,
like now that I have that window, we're not married. We don't have we're not trying to have kids. I think I should take that opportunity, and I know it's gonna be hurtful, but it's like even like finding out too, like what if he has HIV? Oh, well then I would probably have HIV too then.
No, but Esther, this is a little bit. So,
do you have any final things to add?
Do your research early.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah, do that research, guys, and it's very important to ask your partner, not on the first date.
Maybe on the first date.
First one, at least, ask about the genotype, especially if you're Black African. It's very important to ask about the genotype. Please watch that movie Strain, and this is not endorsed by Strain, but Strain, if you're watching direct, or come and talk to us. We are InSyncToronto.com. But for real, like get those checks. Get your sexual health checks. Go with your partner to that clinic. Some people is hot out there.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that would be my first date.
Now you're capping.
But for real, do your research and a little advice. If you call your family doctor and they don't know what genotype is, just go straight to the lab. So I think it's called lab something.
Life Labs.
Life Labs. Yeah, they do genotype checks. So. Go straight to them and tell them you want to know your blood group and your genotype. So if you say it that way, they will assist you. You don't need to go through no blood clinic to do it, but they will assist you. So, that's it. And, did you guys have fun? This was a different conversation.
This is a really important
very
conversation.
Educational.
Yes. I love it.
PhD.
Oh, yeah, baby.
No, but this is it. And remember, guys, we are in sync. And I go by the name of Oyin.
Victoria.
Esther.
And keep watching, and thank you so much to our sponsors, Beasletics and InSyncToronto. We appreciate you guys, and check them out in the description link below. And that's it from us, guys. Bye.
Bad girls like us, we don't wanna trouble me, no one no fuss. Coming out of place, you know, interrupt. I know that you watching me, you ain't gotta tell me.